Nikola Tesla was famous for imagining inventions far beyond his time. Wireless electricity, remote-controlled machines, and devices that seemed impossible were only part of his story. But what if Tesla kept his strangest ideas hidden from the world? One quiet night, Tesla stood alone inside his laboratory. Copper coils hummed around him, blue sparks jumped between brass switches, and a light bulb glowed in his hand without a single wire. Behind a dusty curtain, he uncovered an iron door with 3 strange dials. Tesla turned them carefully. Electricity crawled around the frame, the locks clicked, and the door opened into a narrow underground corridor. At the end was a circular archive filled with cabinets, rolled blueprints, and sealed wooden chests. Tesla opened the largest chest and found dozens of folders tied with colored ribbons. Each one carried a mysterious symbol. He lifted the first folder. A tiny electric city appeared above it. The first secret project was a city powered without wires inside a hidden workshop. Tesla had built a complete model town with homes, factories, street lamps, and a tiny train. He placed a copper sphere in the center and connected it to a miniature transmission tower. Then he pulled a lever. Blue energy rings spread across the model. Street lamps glowed. Factory wheels began to turn. The train started moving and circled Tesla's shoes. Tesla tried to step over it, lost his balance, and fell backward into a chair. The train continued proudly, as if it had won. Tesla tested more wireless devices. A lamp switched on across the room. A fan blew his mustache sideways. A floating frying pan cooked a pancake using nothing but energy from the air. Then the pancake launched upward and landed on Tesla's head. The experiment was not perfect, but it worked. In Tesla's imagined city, electricity could reach every building without cables. The second folder contained a small mechanical oscillator. Tesla attached the device to a stone column in the basement. At first, it produced only a quiet hum. Then cups began shaking. Tools bounced across tables. Hanging bulbs swung in perfect rhythm. Tesla adjusted one tiny control. A brick jumped out of the wall and landed in his hand. He placed it back, but the entire wall rippled like a curtain. Tesla tried to stop the machine. He turned the power down. Nothing happened. He covered it with a cushion. The cushion shook like jelly. Finally, he sat on top of it, bouncing rapidly while trying to look serious. Then he noticed that the machine was not even connected to power. Tesla struck a tuning fork. A golden sound wave crossed the room and cancelled the vibration completely. Everything became still. One final screw fell from the ceiling and landed on his head. The third folder described a camera that could photograph thoughts. Tesla built a brass box with a crystal lens and connected it to a helmet covered in copper contacts. He sat in front of the machine and imagined a perfect electric tower. The screen displayed exactly what he had pictured. A magnificent tower made of lightning. Then Tesla accidentally thought about lunch. The tower became a giant sandwich. He tried to focus, but the sandwich grew wings. Pigeons, gears, stars, and teacups filled the screen. The camera began printing endless strips of paper until Tesla disappeared beneath them. When he climbed out, he found one useful design hidden among the nonsense. A compact energy engine. Naturally, Tesla tested the camera on a sleeping cat. The screen showed a mountain of fish and soft cushions. The cat woke, and the image became a giant paw reaching toward the camera. Tesla quickly ended the experiment. Some thoughts, he decided, were better left private. Among the printed images was another invention, a weather tower. Tesla climbed onto the laboratory roof and assembled a tall machine with copper rings, glass spheres, and a lightning rod. The moment he activated it, a tiny dark cloud appeared directly above his head. The rest of the sky remained sunny. The cloud rained only on Tesla. He moved it over a flower pot, and the flower grew into a sunflower taller than he was. Another control created a spiral breeze that swept leaves into a perfect circle. The breeze soon became strong enough to lift Tesla by his coat. He pressed the emergency button. The wind stopped, every object dropped, and an open umbrella landed perfectly above him. Tesla calmly poured tea, while the tower separated a storm into neat bands and created a rainbow across the sky. The next folder led him to a secret hangar. Suspended from the ceiling was a silver airship with copper fins, glowing blue rings, and no propeller. Tesla installed a crystal core, climbed into the cockpit, and pulled a lever. The airship rose silently. It glided above forests, rivers, and distant towns. It could hover, slide sideways, and turn without making a sound. Then Tesla pressed the wrong button. His seat rotated backward. For several uncomfortable seconds, he flew forward while facing the tail of his own machine. The seat returned to normal just before the airship entered a cloud. It emerged covered in sparkling droplets, and Tesla activated an electric shield that turned the water into a glowing ring. He landed safely on a grassy hill. The moment he stepped out, the airship began floating away because he had forgotten to switch it off. Tesla jumped, grabbed the lever, and pulled it back down. Even a genius could forget simple things. The next invention was much smaller, a mechanical pigeon. Tesla built it from brass, copper, and blue glass. It could fly, scan electrical signals, carry messages, and find its way home. During its first test, it landed directly on Tesla's mustache. After being moved to his finger, the bird flew through the city. It passed rooftops and clock towers, discovered unusual signals, and even freed a real pigeon trapped behind a wooden crate. The two birds returned together. The real pigeon immediately stole a shiny screw from Tesla's workbench. Tesla recovered it only after offering a bowl of seeds. The mechanical pigeon then projected an image of a remote mountain valley. At its center stood a circular stone ring. Tesla traveled there in a small electric carriage. The stone ring was ancient and covered with geometric patterns. Tesla placed a blue crystal into a brass socket, the center of the ring filled with a mirror-like surface. But it did not show an ordinary reflection. It showed the valley beneath a different sky. Tesla waved. His reflection waved 1 second later. Then the mirror revealed a future city powered by clean wireless energy. Towers glowed without cables. Vehicles moved silently. Homes drew power directly from the air. For a moment, Tesla saw the world he had always imagined. Then hundreds of tiny Teslas appeared, all arguing over one small wrench. Tesla quickly adjusted the frequency. The mirror stabilized and displayed golden paths branching toward many possible futures. It was not showing one certain future. It was showing choices. Tesla removed the crystal, and the mirror dissolved into harmless sparks. Back in the laboratory, he used the crystal to power a teleportation doorway. He placed an apple in front of the portal and activated it. The apple rolled through and appeared across the room twice as large. A teacup came out tiny enough to sit on his fingertip. A rubber ball emerged at the correct size, but bounced across the ceiling, as though gravity had forgotten where the floor was. Tesla carefully placed one foot through the portal. His shoe appeared across the room and tapped the mechanical pigeon on the shoulder. The startled bird flew in circles around his head. Tesla switched the machine off. Teleportation needed more testing. Only one folder remained. It described a cosmic radio receiver made from copper loops, glass tubes, crystal headphones, and a rotating map of the stars. Tesla aimed the largest antenna toward the night sky and listened. At first there was only static, then he heard a pulse. 3 soft beats, repeating again and again. The signal changed into a strange musical rhythm. Tesla tried to remain serious, but his foot began tapping. The mechanical pigeon danced on the control panel. A glowing image of the moon appeared above the receiver. Near its edge, a tiny geometric object flashed. Tesla transmitted 3 gentle electric pulses. The object flashed 3 times in reply. A burst of static turned Tesla's hair into an enormous cloud. The mechanical pigeon used one wing to smooth it back into place. Tesla recorded the mysterious signal on a spinning glass cylinder and stood silently beneath the stars. Perhaps the signal came from another inventor. Perhaps it came from another world. Or perhaps the universe was simply curious about the man who never stopped asking impossible questions. Tesla returned every folder to the underground archive and locked the chest. But one final folder slipped onto the floor. Later, he found it beside his desk. Inside was a drawing of a gigantic machine shaped like a star. A spark rose from the page and formed a tiny spinning galaxy above his hand. Tesla smiled beneath his famous mustache and raised one finger. The secret archive was not empty, and this adventure was only the beginning.